Congressman, great to have you with us. I mean, we look at this economy that I just reported on and have been reporting on for all of these months since the president was elected. I don't understand what the Democrats have to say about the president's leadership and the Republican governorship of both the House and the Senate.
Well, you know, the Democrats keep trying to make the argument that Donald Trump is incompetent, but we continue to see the fruits of his labor and the work of his administration in coordination with the Republican Congress. If Democrats were to win in the midterms, we would face total chaos, Lou. Nothing would get done. No budgets would be passed. All of the special interests would continue to love the gridlock. Immigration would continue to be a problem as illegals just came across our border with no consequence. Do we really want that? Do we want endless impeachment hearings? I think the American people want to continue the progress, but here's the problem for Republicans. We've got to make new promises. We can't just expect people to get up and vote for us based on what we've done in the past. We've got to promise to fulfill this Trump agenda.
Yeah, and you know, you've got a guy in the House. We've mentioned Speaker Ryan before, haven't we? I mean, we have had that discussion.
I think you've brought him up a time or two on your show.
Well, and here we go again. And the president today brought up that leadership, feckless leadership in the House. And I'm just confused about why you all have continued to permit him to sit in the office that he resigned. He's doing no one any good. He's blocking the president's wall, as the president pointed out today, one of the cornerstone promises of his presidential campaign. What are the Republicans to do?
Well, we are in need of vision, and my colleague Jim Jordan laid out that vision several months ago. He said that with this deadline looming, we should put the wall funding together with prioritizing our troops and our veterans. We should send that over to the Senate and then demand that they take action on it. Here, what we have is, I think, the absence of decision-making, and, you know, my hope is that we continue to make our troops a priority. I mean, I hate when gridlock in Washington results in the people who are downrange fighting for our freedoms not getting what they need, and Trump has always put our troops and our veterans first, and at least we're taking care of that, but I don't think we've been nearly ambitious enough.
Yeah. Without the president's leadership, the Republicans would have precious little to show for their control of both the House and the Senate. I want to turn to what we're now witnessing, and that is the Congress of the United States sending a letter. I should point out the Dems who lead the Congress of the United States, Pelosi, Schumer, Warner, and a fellow by the name of Schiff, wanting well, let's just put this up because it's really remarkable. If we could put up the first full screen here of the DNI and the DOJ agreeing to block White House access. On June 27, 2018, we wrote to memorialize the verbal assurance that is, Coates and Rosenstein, it's just, and Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI, the assurance you provided us that DOJ and FBI would not provide the White House or any of the president's attorneys with access to sensitive information briefed to a small group of designated members. Congressman, I've got to ask you, that looks to me like a confession on paper, overwhelming evidence of a conspiracy to subvert the President of the United States.
I don't know who the hell these people think they are telling executive agencies of the federal government not to be responsive to the commander-in-chief, to the person who leads the executive branch, to the President of the United States. Donald Trump has obligations under the Constitution that can only be met if he has full command and control of the federal government, and I think it's outrageous that you would have that happen. I think it's even more troubling now that you could have people at the FBI and Department of Justice not complying with the president's order to release the information that we've been demanding to have released so that we can get to the bottom of the Obama administration's abuses of the FISA process to spy on the Trump campaign.
Isn't it remarkable the president has ordered the declassification of the documents that you and other congressmen and two committees have sought? And now the Democrats are saying, my gosh, what an abuse of power. How could you possibly allow the President of the United States to declassify all of these documents, notwithstanding the fact that President Obama did precisely the same thing, that is, declassify material that had been classified and did so to the cheers of the very same people, including, what's his name, Schiff, who is now protesting so loudly. This is, the Dems have reached I think, an absolutely unprecedented low-life level of political chicanery and dirty tricks that they ought to get down and prostrate themselves and apologize to the American people.
Well, let's hope that they don't have allies and co-conspirators at the Department of Justice at the FBI. Let's hope that people understand the org chart, and they understand that at the top of the org chart is President Donald J. Trump, and he makes these decisions. And by the way, he's right to make this decision, Lou, because we've got to know what information was withheld from the FISA court. We're going to find out a lot of stuff that they were supposed to be told. They never got told, and laws were probably broken.
Yeah, and I think we can all safely say, based on what we already know before even looking at the declassified material, that there is a level of rancid, desperate, toxic political corruption at the leadership level of both the FBI and the Department of Justice and the intelligence community under President Obama. Now it's just a question of producing the evidence, which the president, thank God, has started the process. Congressman, great to have you with us as always. Appreciate it.
Good to see you, Lou. Thank you.
Thank you.